I actually just thought of a fifth question. So if you want to think of a fifth one on the fly, you can add that in. But I'm going to
Okay.
go ahead and ask you this question, which I brought up in our phone call the other day. Actually, it was just yesterday. What Star Wars
What
character should have their own
should
show?
have their own show? Oh, you know what I would like? I think I'm someone who doesn't think that Mace Windu needed to have survived, but I think there would be a cool story in Mace Windu surviving the fight with Palpatine, and it's in between 3 and 4 during the rise of the Empire, and he has to come to terms with the fact that he is one of the biggest reasons that the Republic fell and gave rise to Darth Vader,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he has to deal with that.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
definitely be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea for one. Like are there any like really underrated characters or lesser known characters who you think could get their own show?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. It's not an underrated character, but I think Luke's Jedi Academy, a series about that, and training the
Mhm.
students and Kylo, that could be cool.
Seeing Kylo Ren's backstory could even like a mini series or something like that, or maybe I mean not like they would ever make a prequel for the sequels, but it would be interesting to see that. Um, you know what I think would be a good idea if they made an Office style show, but for the Empire, like the first like true Star Wars comedy. Like it
Oh,
shows like all like the boring like paperwork and bullshit that like the Empire has to do, and
yeah.
all the things that the stormtroopers go through. I think that that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Lego Tales from the Death Star, but
I haven't.
it's a stop motion that someone did years ago, and they're only a few minutes each, and it touches on things like that. Like they never ordered the super laser for the Death Star because there was an issue with the paperwork, and Darth Vader has to run between accounting and packaging nonstop to try to figure out the issue with the order.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Palpatine is at the Death Star waiting to see the super laser.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever dude, I don't know if I ever sent this to you, but it was like the stormtrooper patrol on Tatooine. It was based off of the show Cops. It was a parody that like some fans did that shows like what like the actual duties of the stormtroopers were like, and they were like policing Jawas. Dude, it was so funny. Did I remember to? I sorry. Did I ever send that to you?
No, you've mentioned it before, but you haven't sent it to me.
Okay, I'll have to send that like like right now if I can find it. Yeah, for me, I would be interested in seeing like I want to see a movie about Watto. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say that's a weird choice.
Yeah, yeah, I want to see a movie about trying to think of like the most random characters in Star Wars. I will say if we could have gotten like a Jawa Ewok fight, I think that would have been pretty funny. Like the Jawa Ewok War.
Hmm.
If we got, dude, if there was a show from the Tusken Raiders perspective, I think that would be pretty funny.
Hmm. Oh,
And
I
I,
know a character who could have a good mini series.
yeah,
Cad Bane.
yes, yes, that is a great one. That is a really, really good one. That is a
Hmm.
great one. Yeah, that's an excellent choice. He's easily one of the most forgotten but best characters in Star Wars. And I've mentioned this before, but General Grievous could definitely have his own show.
Yeah.
Definitely a cool origin story. Count Dooku's origin story would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, but definitely Cad Bane. I think the bounty hunter shows are the way to go, especially with the success of Mandalorian, and like we'll see how good the Book of Boba Fett is. It's gonna
Hmm.
be. I'm kind of like I'm kind of wondering like how good all of these shows are gonna be with all of the projects going on at the same time. Like I wonder if it like it is Disney and they have endless funding, but I just wonder if there's gonna be like a dip in quality. Or if they're just going to be reaching and trying to do too much with all the because I'm surprised at how many different shows that they want to have just for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened when they kind of just like cranked the sequels out every other year. Weren't really great, and they
Hmm.
weren't planned either. But I just hope that like all of the TV shows are planned out well, and have actual good plots. I'm very excited for Ahsoka.
Yeah, dude, me
Really
too.
excited for that. Yeah.
Can't wait for that show.
Did you see that thing where like the actress who plays Ahsoka, she posted to her Instagram a picture of her and Hayden Christensen, and then she took it down after a couple minutes?
Yeah, and then they confirmed that he's in the show.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Wait,
Yeah.
so why did Anakin call her Snips?
Probably because she's snippy and kind of a smartass.
That's interesting because like I
Sky
don't.
Guy and Snips.
Yeah, Snips is a good nickname because like you don't hear that every day. Sky Guy is pretty corny though, but it's one of those things that like grows on you over time.
The
Well, with that being said, um, what's your fourth question for me?
you said we are doing 5 questions.
Yeah,
All right. This
if
might
you
make.
want to.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
Okay, this one might make you think. Who is the all-time, in your opinion, greatest fictional character?
Wow. There's a lot of things to consider because you have someone with like unlimited wisdom, like Yoda,
Hmm.
right? But then if we're looking at more like realistic shows, I'm trying to think of like characters who like accomplished a lot. Well, Doctor Strange has to be up there.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is awesome.
But I still don't know the details of Endgame, so don't spoil it for me. But who was the most important person in Endgame for them taking Thanos down? Because if it's Doctor,
Oh, that's the question that all the MCU fans will get pissed off by.
why?
The character who is like the reason that the entire plan gets put into motion is like a joke. Like
Okay,
when they wrote that in, they should have thought of something better than what they did.
okay,
But either Ant-Man, he was pretty important, Doctor Strange, or Iron Man.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, because for me, like when I think of like epic fictional stories, I think of like Avengers, Endgame, Lord of the Rings. You could make an argument for Samwise Gamgee as being the best fictional character because Frodo carried the ring, but Sam really finished the job.
Yeah.
So Frodo wouldn't have, and that was like the whole Middle Earth was at stake in that scenario.
Hmm.
But the Avengers is a little different because they're dealing with half of the universe is at stake.
Yeah.
So for fictional stories, I don't think anything gets higher stakes than what the Avengers went through.
Hmm.
So I'd have to go with I'd have to go with Doctor Strange.
Okay. That's fair.
Even though I'm a total casual with superheroes, I'm picking him as the best fictional character because he played a pivotal part in saving half of the universe from genocide, which I think is fair.
Yeah. Well, in my Doctor Strange review, which I'm editing now, soon to be up on MCU HQ, shameless plug, it'll be up by the time this video's out. Go watch it.
Shameless plug.
I mentioned that he is one of the best MCU characters.
Hmm.
And that's coming out of his solo movie, so he only gets better.
Yeah.
Um, okay, for me, undeniably Batman.
Okay.
Batman's fantastic. He has so much depth. I don't think you'll ever find a character in all of fiction that has more depth than Batman. Like, he says he's good, but then he also does things where you wonder if he's any better than the people he's fighting against. And he's like the only human on the Justice League. It's a team of all gods, and they keep the guy without powers around because he's just that skilled. He knows every form of martial arts on the planet. He has a plan to take down everyone on the Justice League if they turn evil. And on top of that, he has the best video games, the greatest trilogy of all time, some of the best, like Christian Bale's Batman is great. Ben Affleck's Batman is great. Michael Keaton's Batman is great. He has the best villains ever. His rogues gallery is unmatched. An argument could be made that Spider-Man's is better, but no, Batman has the best villains. Yeah, there's nothing about Batman that's bad. He is amazing, and he's just a guy, and he can do so much stuff, and he's just a trust fund baby.
That's yeah. That's a really good point about that. About how he's around literal gods, but they keep him around because he basically is a god, just with his skill though, which
Mhm.
is insanely impressive. Speaking of all those different skills, though, I forgot to say this. Neo from the Matrix, definitely one of the best fictional characters ever.
Oh yeah,
How could
it's
I
a
forget? Yeah, Neo is definitely up there.
mm. I will say some honorable mentions, of course. Spider-Man, Darth Vader, and Aragorn from Lord of the Rings are my honorable
Yeah.
mentions. But Batman's at the tippy top.
Okay. Well, I'm going to transition into my fourth question for you, which is growing up, was it Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Nickelodeon for me, because
I see.
SpongeBob was on Nickelodeon, and I loved SpongeBob. Uh, Cartoon Network didn't really have anything that gripped me, and I was growing up on Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. Like when I was watching those shows, that's when the Clone Wars was on the air. But I didn't watch Clone Wars until it ended, and that's because I watched the movie first and hated it. So I didn't
Yeah.
want to watch the show, thinking the show would be just as bad. So I didn't watch it until after it ended. So I never caught it on Cartoon Network. But yeah, Nickelodeon, because Saturday morning Nickelodeon would just put SpongeBob on and then just leave the station for until like 2 in the afternoon, and I just got SpongeBob for like half my day.
Yeah.
They also have the greatest theme song. Nick, 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 Nickelodeon. Unmatched. No one can top
Dude,
that.
SpongeBob, I swear I saw every SpongeBob episode up through like, it must have been like the first 7 or 8 seasons at the time. But there was a certain, because I watched SpongeBob all the way up through like 8th grade. So I've seen like pretty much I've seen a majority of their good episodes. I haven't been keeping up with it in a while, which I think is most people our age. But for a long time, dude, like by the time I got to middle school, you could never put on a SpongeBob episode and I would be like, "Oh, I've never seen this one." You know.
Mm.
For me personally though, I developed a special attachment to Cartoon Network because I was a big Adventure Time and Regular Show fan.
Mm.
So I really got into watching Cartoon Network when I was a tween. When I was before I was like 12 and 13, though, it was definitely all Nickelodeon. And I used to I really messed with iCarly when I was younger. I actually
Oh, dude, I
really
loved iCarly. I fucked with that.
Yeah, I really liked iCarly. So yeah, from ages like 8 to 12, it was Nickelodeon. From ages like 12 to 15, it was Cartoon Network. And then once I got into high school in like 8th grade, I started watching Adult Swim.
Okay.
So that's how it kind of went for me. But yeah, I'd have to say same reason for you for Nickelodeon. Like having SpongeBob really saved Nickelodeon.
It
You
did.
know.
It really
But
did.
Cartoon Network though had some very, like, I wouldn't necessarily say underrated, but definitely some cartoons that was Cartoon Network definitely experienced a separate golden age from Nickelodeon with some of its shows, which was interesting. But with that being said, let's transition it into your fifth question.
All right, this is one for my dad. My mom and sister told me I shouldn't use this one, and I said it was too funny. So, if you're sitting at your desk and your boss walks by and comes up to you and says your hair smells nice, is that sexual harassment?
No. Well, hold on a second. It depends on like how exactly they picked up on the scent of my hair, right? Like if they're just walking by and they compliment me, I'd just be like, oh, well, it's a little personal, but I would definitely not consider that sexual harassment. But if they like made an effort to sniff me and then said that my hair smelled nice, then I would consider that sexual harassment, because I mean, like this happens all the time, like with women when they walk by, some of them just have a lot of perfume on, right? And they might smell nice and you might compliment them. I wouldn't consider a compliment like of that sort to be sexual harassment. It's just like complimenting someone's outfit, someone's eyes, right? But if you make an effort to sniff me and do it in a weird way, then I would consider it sexual harassment. But on just a regular basis, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. The real question I need to ask is I need to ask my dad how he thought of that question, because that's a very specific question.
That sounds like I was literally going to say that this sounds like a real life situation. Like maybe this is something that's going on at your dad's work, because that actually sounds like fair game to be something in real life.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if it's just kind of in passing,
yeah,
it's normal. Yeah, if they go out of their way, then they're definitely speaking with what's between their legs and not what's in between their ears.
Yeah, I mean, they're thinking with the wrong head.
Yeah, exactly. That said, we know that I don't have a lot of morals, and
yep. Oh boy, are we getting ready to go into the segment of shit John should regret but doesn't?
Probably.
Okay.
For the sake of keeping the person I'm referring to in the story anonymous, large chunks of the following segment have been cut out. However, we tried to keep as much in as possible. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And the next morning, I came downstairs to play video games, and the scent was still in the couch.
Okay. Oh.
And then my dumbass was like, I need to get a whiff of this.
So you sniffed the couch like a dog, didn't you? Dude, that is so down bad. Oh my god.
It's the funniest story, dude. I think it's the weirdest. I think, here's the thing. Every time we do this segment, it tops the previous one.
Dude, that is like one of the most down bad things I've ever heard. Yeah, so okay, so let's transition into your fifth question for me after that great segment.
That was my fifth question.
Oh.
All right, we're on to your fifth question now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. This is what you've all, well, not really what you've been waiting for, but we have gotten to my last question, which we all know what that means. It's the weekly Daisy Ridley question. It's a weekly Daisy Ridley question. I have two lined up here because I'm not sure if I know that one of these you'll have to think. I'll put it this way. I'm not sure how you're going to answer these. Okay, so I'll tell you the first one: Daisy Ridley or Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas.
Yeah, dude, I saw her on Jimmy Kimmel and in James Bond, and I was like, Wow. Like I was like, that was the most disappointing part about that movie was that her part was so small and she didn't come back.
She was so good in it.
She was really good. She needs she definitely needs to do more movies like that. I thought she was badass, fit the role perfectly.
Have you seen Knives Out?
I have not.
You should. She was good in that too. She's pretty good. She might win an Oscar at some point.
Do that dress she was wearing in James Bond though?
Right,
Great fit.
right. But yeah, she got to kick ass in the dress. Like that's the scene from Wonder Woman when the guy's like, "Well, I am both frightened and aroused."
All right, here's the one that I think is you might have to think a little bit more about: Daisy Ridley or Kristen Bell.
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Kristen Bell seems a lot crazier, which some people might find appealing, and movie directors certainly find more appealing. But Daisy Ridley has the looks.
Yes. Well, I actually have one more for you, John, because 1 second. 1 second. I'm Googling this person right now to make sure that I have the right person. Because my goal with this question is always to make you think. I always want you to say that I'm causing an existential crisis for you. So I don't know if I asked this one before. Okay, Daisy Ridley or Elizabeth Olsen?
You motherfucker.
Yes, that's the reaction I want. And I had to pull it out because I just thought I was like, I know that there was one actress that I was thinking about doing that I missed.
Yeah, you hit two of the people that are on my celebrity crush list from last episode. Or not last episode, episode 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Two of the people that were on the list. This is one of those ones that would probably vary on the day. And right now, I'm feeling Elizabeth Olsen. Because I've seen her in stuff more recently. She looked good in what I saw her in. Yeah, I'm talking about WandaVision. Her outfits in that show were legendary. And yeah, I think she has generally been more active and in the spotlight recently than Daisy Ridley has. And that has given me and my dipshit self more Elizabeth Olsen content than Daisy Ridley content.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to make Elizabeth Olsen the winner on that. Did you see what her hair when she went to the Emmys? I look like Travis Scott doing this.
Oh, rubbing your forehead. No, I did not. I think you sent it to me though.
I think so. Yeah, it's also the picture for her that I used in the Celebrity Crush episode. It's a great hairstyle. I love it.
Well, John, I'm not done making you think. I have one more for you.
Oh my!
And I know,
God.
and I know that you're a fan of this actress. So Daisy Ridley or Sophia Lillis? I know that you're a big Sophia Lillis fan.
I hate you so goddamn much. This is a hard one. I don't like you. I think I'll say Sophia Lillis because something about her being in my age range is pretty appealing. I think she's 3 months younger than me.
Okay. Oh yeah, so she could be in your grade, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, she'll be 20 in February.
I see.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think I've told you about the stupid thing my friend and I do, where I send him a picture of someone I have a crush on, like a celebrity.
Yeah.
And then he'll respond with a meme of him killing me, or it's a finisher from Titanfall or Battlefield, but the person dying is labeled John's horny ass, and then the person killing him is labeled me, and that's my friend, and then it's him killing me. And Sophia Lillis was the first one we did, and we got up to 50 pictures on that before I switched to a different one. But there were times when I was like, I have to carbon date this photo because if she's 15 or 16 in this photo, it's going to be really weird. So I'm like, it's kind of hard to find a good picture of her when it's not recent, because if you scroll far back enough on her Instagram, he's a kid. I'm like, that's weird. So, yeah.
I want to ask you one more, but I don't think, I don't even, if I ask you one more, I don't think there's going to be any female actresses left.
Oh, I can think of a few. You haven't even hit the Game of Thrones people yet.
That's very true. It's very true, dude. I should have kept I need to start keeping a track of like which one you pick.
Yeah.
So we know like what Daisy Ridley's all-time record. So when this podcast has been going on for a year and we hit like 20 subscribers or some huge milestone like that, we can have like a compilation of like every single Daisy Ridley question, and then we can compile every single time John has said something that could get him canceled, and then we could get a compilation of all of our horny moments put all in together.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do a compilation of every time John says something that would get him canceled, because every time you have to censor it.
Yeah, it would just be like 30 minutes. It'd just be 30 minutes of just the bars and tone.
Yeah. Still think the funniest shit is when I went into that rant for minutes on end, the second episode, or the second time we did that segment. And then when you put out the podcast, it cuts straight to you saying that you had to fucking censor the whole thing.
Yeah, in order to protect your integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the end of our questions. Pretty chill episode today. Nothing too eventful. Even John's out-of-pocket story wasn't the craziest I've heard from him. So to the viewers at home, just know that'll definitely be one of the less censored John stories. This podcast isn't going to have a massive amount of editing. We're going to take out a few of the things that made us look overly horny or weird. So, but other than that, I'd say this was a very chill episode. Once again, thank you to ibuprofen for sponsoring this episode. If you want to get a hole in your liver, take ibuprofen every day.
Also, if you want to feel better when you have COVID, take
yes.
ibuprofen every
and
day.
If you are a middle school football player who wants to avoid shin splints, 3 ibuprofens before practice is the way to go.
3 ibuprofens?
Yeah, dude. No, I was thinking about this. I was playing running back. Literally, my position is, my entire job is to run, dude. So I was in a lot of pain with the shin splints. But yeah, thank you to ibuprofens for sponsoring this episode. This has been episode 7 of Back of the Class. John, do you have any final thoughts?
Don't get COVID.
Yeah, don't
get COVID.
Don't get COVID. And remember, guys, noticing someone's scent is not sexual harassment if it's done in a passing manner.
Neither is taking a whiff of the couch when they're not there.
Yes.
So
thank you. And before I forget, thank you to John's family for providing him with his questions today. So big shout out to the Pattison family. And with all that being said, that has been another episode of the Back of the Class. It's your host, Jason Aiello, and my co-host, John Pattison, signing off.